70% of the usable farmland is being used, and of that, 80% of it is for raising these animals, for their food and for raising them personally. And so you look at the people are worried about what's happening for the lungs of the earth down in the Amazon. Well, take a look at it. 70% of the deforestation, it's 18 million acres a year, the size of Panama we're burning down, and it's for raising cattle for beef production. So it's not sustainable. There's no way we can grow to that level. We're talking about going from 7.6 billion people to 9.7 billion people. It's almost a third growth to 2050. There's no way we can do it. We're destroying the earth as it is. We're poisoning ourselves very often. But what else? Water. I mean, water is becoming one of the most important resources on earth, and one cow takes up during its lifetime basically a destroyer full of water. One cow. And we've got, I was looking up the number, 1.5 billion cattle, 20 billion chickens that we're raising just to try to feed most of the people, but not everybody in this world. So I look around at that and go, greenhouse gases. We get more greenhouse gases from the methane from these animals than you do from all cars, planes, all forms of transportation combined. I mean, it's nuts. And then there's the safety issues that we've all run into of the pollution that happens when you slaughter animals. It's also inhumane. So we were looking for solutions, as you know, and we spent about $500,000, brought in all the best experts, spent almost 2 years to finally discover that the greatest answer possible is what is now known as cultured protein or cultured beef or clean protein, I should say. It can be clean chicken, clean fish. And what it is stem cell grown. I know that sounds like a fantasy, but they've been doing it for 15 years now. It started at $330,000 for a pound. You're not going to feed the poorest of the poor that way. But then they reduced it 90%, $230. And now their target was $2.30, but what they need is more incentive. And the beauty of these X Prizes, as you know, because you created it, is all these teams competing will spend more money than the prize and create a brand new industry, just like you did in space. And so this opportunity to bring the smartest minds together and say, how do we do this? How do we feed the whole world in a cleaner format that's healthier for them, that's better for the planet, and uses maybe 80% less water, 80% less land, and puts us in a position where we're not having to burn down the rainforest, the lungs of the earth, and have people still enjoy it. Because the most important part of this rule for me is, number one, it's got to taste good. Because otherwise, no matter how good it is for you, no one's going to do it. So as you know, one of our rules is it's these celebrity chefs, and it's got to be in a blind taste test. It's got to win. And so cut the cost, cut the damage, and provide a real solution, because we need a new system of production for food in this world, because the one we have is not sustainable.
Let me hit on a few points in addition, Tony, because I love your passion, and this is one of your massively transformative purposes, and it's a pleasure to be your wingman on this moonshot, because it really is a moonshot. We have destroyed, by overfishing, 90% of the large fish in our oceans. Yes. And that is, when I go out for sushi and I look at a piece of sashimi and I go, man, I guess I should stop eating this. But it is possible, and people may not believe it, but it is possible to go from a stem cell, from an ahi tuna, or from the right chicken, or whatever it might be, to grow a piece of protein that has the texture, the feel, the taste, and perhaps, if it's not a large tuna fish, no mercury, and you've had the impact of mercury, so it's healthier for you in that regard. So the challenge is, people don't realize that we have already reinvented how we create our food. The food that we're eating today is not the way we, as an agrarian or a hunter-gatherer society, had our food even 10,000 years ago. We've had a green revolution. The planet would have starved many times over had we not had fertilizer and pesticides and farming and farm equipment and all of that. It's just time to do it again. And it's time to do it again for an important reason, which is that we're heading towards a world in which we're moving more and more people out of extreme poverty into middle class. And those individuals in middle class desire a higher quality protein. They don't want to be told, I can have it and you can't. But if we're going to give those additional billion people the chicken, the fish, which is what we're focusing on, versus the pork or beef, if we're going to give them that kind of protein, it's not going to be sustainable on this planet.
You're absolutely correct. And you brought up the fish, which to me is one of the most important elements, because we not only are, overfishing and adding plastic to the waters, but we're putting ourselves in a position where there is a tipping point where you can't go back, and people hear about this, and it's probably not 12 years like some people doing fear, gloom and doom, but there is a limit to everything. And so I don't think people understand is this technology exists. We just got to bring the price down, and it's gone down 90%. We need another 90%. And that's what this prize is about. Because you can literally take a single cell of that ahi fish or a single cell of a chicken and take that white meat and grow it infinitely. I mean, you're able to grow it and double it within a few days, a single cell, and it gets stronger and stronger, bigger and bigger, and we can do it locally. Because as you know, the transportation costs, what are they, about 40% now? What do you know what the current figure is?
It's as much as 50% of the food on your Thanksgiving table was food miles, right? Beef from Argentina, the wine from France, the potatoes from Idaho, whatever it is. And so the question is, can you move the production of the food to where it's being consumed? And these types of factories could operate in downtown Abu Dhabi, downtown Detroit, wherever it might be. And again, like you said, we don't want to offer a second grade product. It has to taste great. And in fact, this is going to be part of the rules of this competition are that, teams need to deliver 25 servings, 4 ounces per serving, which is an average serving of their raw chicken equivalent and their raw fish equivalent, 25 servings of each, to a group of celebrity chefs who are going to be cooking with that product. They're also going to be cooking with chicken and fish that high quality derived from the farm. And then they're going to be blind taste tests to see which do you like better. And I believe we could create a product that tastes better, healthier for you, lower cost, better for the planet.
And humane too. There's these animals as well, and cleaner. I mean, we know all the challenges with foot-mouth disease, with all the different things that occur in the process of butchering animals and transporting animals and/or fish. So the idea to eliminate that, and it's not a pipe dream, because without this kind of competition over the last set of years, it's gone down, as they said, from $3,500 a pound to $300 a pound. We're going to make another 90% drop. And as you know, maybe you can share some of the excitement we're seeing in the industry as we brought this prize up. When it first came up, I said, I'll put up the first $1 million. And I said, let's fund the rest of this prize with just a few people. And I flew over to Abu Dhabi. You came with me with the team and went there to go see a dear friend of mine who's His Highness Sheikh Tanoon bin Zayed Nahyan, and also MBZ, not MBS from Saudi Arabia, but Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, his brother who runs the country. And they were incredibly supportive, and they really give us our initial momentum, and now we have so many other people on. So maybe you can share a little bit about what people in the industry are saying who are excited about this, because it sounds like a pipe dream, and I'm not here to throw my money away or my time or my energy, and nor ask anybody else to do that. But you and I both know most of the X Prizes sound like a pipe dream in the beginning, but what's the word on the street as you're talking to some of the experts in the industry?
So first of all, I want to point out we have 2 tracks on this prize, right?
We got to make sure they know there's the vegetable-based one, not an animal-based one.
So one track is you're going to pluck the stem cell without killing the animal. You're going to take a few cells from their muscle, and you're going to grow the equivalent of that tuna steak or that chicken breast and do it at scale in a way that is replicable and affordable and consistent. The other option, and we've seen a real explosion in plant-based products, is to do this with a plant-based product. Now, we'll see which can eventually get to the lower cost. I'm betting on cellular agriculture, the